Dear all, welcome to hrtech.sg's first online demo hour for 2021. We'll be showcasing best-in-class performance management systems in this session. The Singapore government has actually been encouraging businesses to transform by adopting technology in all aspects of running the business, including the human resource function. In the recently released IHRP's study on the impact of technology on human resource sector in Singapore, Willis Towers Watson has identified 3 key technology trends at the heart of HR transformation. Number 1, advent of intelligent automation. Number 2, rising expectations of employees for consumer grade experience. Number 3, a shift from basic data analytics towards predictive analytics and modeling. And in fact, the last point on analytics has come out as the most important area that is going to impact the HR function in the next 3 years. The next slide. And all these 3 technology trends have been accelerated by the prevalence of cloud-based, best-in-class smart SaaS platforms, 4 of whom are actually present here today. These new age HR technology solutions actually can minimize many time-consuming transactional HR tasks and free up bandwidth for HR professionals to do more strategic work, thereby helping them to be seen as strategic business partners. So while many enterprises have actually made headway in their digital HR transformation journey and are showing positive business outcomes, there's still a lot to be done in this area. In line with this above, hrtech.sg embarked on HR Tech Demo Hour event series in 2019 to evangelize and promote use of HR technologies. The event provides a platform for HR technology providers to showcase their high-tech solutions, thereby aiding the acceleration of adoption of HR tech. So the event motto has been to showcase demos and not presentations. The first event happened on September 2019 at our WeWork facility in Suntec, Singapore. And today we have our first demo hour of 2021 in an on-demand webinar format. The pandemic has accelerated the need for enterprises to not just modify but revamp their performance management systems. Performance management has truly been one of the most impacted HR functions by the pandemic. With work from anywhere and anytime becoming the new reality, personal living spaces have become the new workplace. Hence, there is a strong need for performance management to become more decentralized, continuous, and agile. So in 2019, pre-COVID, employee performance reviews were already in desperate need of an update. And in fact, according to Gallup, only 14% of employees believed that the performance reviews that they actually received helped them improve. Now the situation has really worsened so much that enterprises are scrambling to revamp their performance management systems. There are significant trends that we are seeing in this space. Number 1, performance management is no more an annual form-filling event. It's changing to continuous or frequent performance conversations. Number 2, no more closed door, but remote tech-based conversations. Number 3, a big shift in focus on process to focus on objectives and OKRs. Number 4, lack of clarity in the process to a more clear, continuous communication-centric process. 5, the role of manager is actually shifting to becoming a mentor or coach. And number 6, which we think is the most significant, the employees are no more the consumers, but they are the creators. What we actually mean is HR and management are ensuring that the employees are the creators of broader performance redesigns. So employees are being provided with structured guidance and tools to individualize their performance management experience and plans. So that's a significant 6 trends that we are seeing in the marketplace. The next slide. This is the 2020 Singapore HR Tech market map. The 2021 HR Tech market map is just round the corner. We'll be going online with the new market map, which is going to be ready by mid-March 2021. And in fact, we will have more performance management players populating the the talent engagement space beyond what has been indicated in 2020 market map. The next slide. In addition, hrtech.sg has been publishing many resources, insights, and blogs about the performance management trends. So earlier this month and in January, we had a blog on the performance management trends in a post-COVID scenario. We published our infographic on the various providers in the Singapore marketplace, and also talked about what are the smart best-in-class features in these providers. So you can view all the PMS players in the marketplace and also have a look at the various resources by clicking the link provided in the screen or using the QR code. Thank you very much again for watching the first demo art session of 2021. We start with Fitbots, and I would hand over the proceedings to Vidya, who is the co-founder and CEO. Over to you, Vidya.
Thanks, Sriram, and hi everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Vidya. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fitbots. I'm also joined in this session by Richa, who heads marketing and partnerships. We're going to have a very quick presentation and then get into the demo. So the presentation is titled All About OKRs, because we are an OKR company. A little more about us as speakers. We both are OKR coaches, started the company in 2018 along with my co-founder Kashi. From there, we've coached over 250 teams ourselves, really understood what it takes to drive OKRs as a culture in organizations and build both the platform and the end-to-end experience so that our clients can adopt OKRs effectively. A little more about Fitbots. We are the only affiliate partners of OKRs Training US, bringing the know-how on how to drive OKRs effectively for Asia Pacific. Along with that is software, which I'm going to do a demo very shortly. But before we get started, I thought I'd share a story. And this really encapsulates the essence of OKRs. So this is about a folklore where there were a bunch of pigeons which were there in the forest. And there came a hunter, cast a net, and the poor pigeons were all trapped. The hunter smiled to himself and said that, ha ha ha, I'm actually going to take these pigeons and go away. But voila, the pigeons had another plan and they all flapped their wings and flew away. So this story essentially captures the essence of OKRs because it's a shift from me to we. And OKRs, as we all know, are best written as teams. And that's what we're also going to showcase during our demo as to how do you really use Fitbots to drive high quality OKRs. So what are OKRs very quickly to those who are new to it? They're, of course, a strategy to execution framework, but we really like to think about it in 5 different points. One is it's a critical thinking framework, helps you really cherry pick metrics that matter. It's an ongoing discipline. So everything about OKRs is about cadence, which I'll also demo during this presentation and demo. It's about teams working together, which is it's not only about vertical and cross-functional alignment. Sriram spoke about the new ways of driving performance. So in OKRs, it's a lot about how do you get different teams to work together. It's not about the business as usual metrics or focusing on your task list. So it's a movement towards outcomes. So we're also going to showcase as to how do you really craft high quality key results. And of course, it's all about measurable contributions. So on that note, I'm going on to the demo and I'm just going to share my screen so that we can get started on Fitbots. So this Fitbots is a single sign-on with your G Suite and O365. I'm just going to log in very quickly. As you go on to the home page, you would notice that OKRs is a team play. So I've spoken about the word teams multiple times. So there are 2 kinds of teams. One is the organization as a whole, because as an organization, you're all moving towards high performance. So on the home screen, you would notice that the overall OKR performance, the confidence index in OKRs, confidence index is like a front view mirror. It tells you as an organization how likely you are to achieve your OKRs. And you'll also be able to see the leading and lagging teams, key results which are going well and at risk. While OKRs is a team play, it's also important to pin down accountability, which is where there's a me dashboard, which also helps every individual who's part of the OKR experience to get a quick view of which key results or milestones he or she is associated with. The journey of OKRs starts with company OKRs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to navigate to organization or company OKRs. And for the sake of this demo, I've already prepared some sample OKRs. One of the realizations that we had while working with teams is that writing OKRs is not always easy. So in order to demystify or remove the mystery is where we have very quick templates or objective and key results builders, which are inbuilt within the platform so that teams, once they get onto it, can write high quality OKRs. So there are prompters as well, which guide teams when they craft OKRs. If you look at this particular demo, I've got some sample OKRs already written up. So there's an objective statement. There are some high quality key results, and you would notice that every key result is preceded with commit or aspiration. One of the qualities of high quality OKR writing is you would have aspiration or the moonshot key results as well as your roof shot. So you could tag it as commit or aspiration. While OKRs is a team play, along with the organization OKRs, it's also important to connect and align every team to the company or organizational OKRs. So here, if you really look at the alignment boards, this basically helps you look at how every team is contributing towards the company's success. Now, what's different here from other goal management frameworks of the past is that it's a connect and align framework, which means as you make progress as a team, it starts getting aggregated towards your company OKR progress. So let's learn a little more about that. From the company or organizational OKRs, I'm now navigating to the team OKRs section. And this is helpful, especially when you have different departments or teams coming together to start crafting OKRs. The way to get started is by creating a team. And since OKRs is non-hierarchical and it breaks cross-functional silos, every team can be created by somebody that we call a team champion. So you can give a fancy team name, and we see a lot of creativity comes up, especially when teams start coming onto OKRs. Add your team members and then get started. For the sake of this demo, I've already pre-created some OKRs so that we can see how they connect and align. I'm just going on to the one on customer success. And if you see customer success in this particular example, it's got one objective and about 3 or 4 key results. And against every key result, there's a progress which is mentioned. So during the week-on-week check-ins, as teams come together, they can update the current value or through integrations via Zapier, they can also pull data from different sources. As your percentage done and confidence index starts getting updated, it's important to view insights. Insights can be viewed on a week-on-week basis, so you can see progress of each team from one week to another. Or you could also see a bird's eye view of progress of all teams together. What's the overall progress of every team? What's the confidence index? And when was this OKR last updated? If you look at this particular dashboard, you would know that the last 2 groups are probably slacking in their OKR updation, but the other 3 are doing quite well and doing their check-ins quite regularly. You can also navigate to the OKRs of any other team because it's a team play and transparency is key. So if I go into, let's say, sales and marketing or customer success, back to customer success, every team can view the OKRs of each other. Now, let me go back to customer success, and we'll also talk about how do teams really exchange feedback and drive that culture of collaboration. During week-on-week check-ins, what we have seen is that when teams update progress, they can also update comments. Comments and collaboration is very, very akin to the OKR culture. So I can start mentioning. So let's say I'm making a mention to Richa. So I'm going to just write a note to Richa and say, hey, Richa, can you check this out? And send the comment. And this basically triggers an email notification to Richa so that Richa can come and get alerted on this particular key result. Now, while teams are coming together to collaborate and align, they also fill in something called the weekly check-ins. So every week when teams do their check-ins, this is something which they really enjoy doing. They also capture their wins and achievements because it's not only about the big wins, but also the tiny celebrations which go hand in hand, any key initiatives which are moving the needle, and any setbacks and learnings which form part of the OKR story. While OKRs is all about metrics and outcomes, it's also equally important to drive that culture of appreciation. So if you look at appreciation, we have a suite of recognition badges, which are again inbuilt. So I can select the badge and I can send it here. Again, I'm going to send it back to Richa and I'm going to just say, hey, great going. So this starts getting aggregated in Richa's dashboards as well. And Richa feels, of course, happy that she's received an appreciation along with her OKRs. Along with that, when we go into the OKR journey, one of the important elements is how do I really see reports? So we have a suite of reports. So teams can actually go in, download reports both at an organization level. So I can download all reports together, or I can even go user wise and download a report for a specific person within the organization. So with this, we've really covered the entire OKR journey, right from the company OKR crafting to how do we set high quality team OKRs to how do we drive recognitions and finally the reports. An additional element about OKRs is about individual OKRs. While it's not recommended, there is a section for individual OKRs. So if anybody wants to especially make developmental goals as part of their OKR writing, we do highly recommend placing it under individual OKRs. But in order to achieve your metrics for the organization, that's where team OKRs comes in play. And every team OKR is associated with an owner. So once you have an owner assigned, the individual dashboards for these owners also start getting populated. So on that note, thank you for your time and happy to have had the opportunity to take you through Fitbots. Switcher, back to you.
Thanks, Vidya. We just also had some few questions, regarding how the PMS space is evolving, and possibly what are the key trends that you are noting in the post-COVID scenario, and how is how are you addressing, or how the systems are addressing the current demands from the HR teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes to two or three key areas. One is clearly the shift from reviews and ratings to more upstream focus on goal management, which is where tools like OKRs are becoming very popular. And the second is the entire element of collaboration, because I think today we don't have the luxury of walking down corridors and giving high fives to each other. So having that experience through the platform, be it comments, collaboration, feedback exchange, as well as appreciation, which is exchanged not only offline but also online, is where some of the trends are progressing. But I would think the first one is the most important, where HR as a community is putting less focus on only driving reviews and ratings to really driving business outcomes through greater goal management. That's the significant shift towards upstream that we see.
Okay, great. And how is, Fitbots in particular, how is it addressing and catering to the remote working, the situation and the scenario that we are moving towards?
Yeah, I think it's with the word which revolves around clarity. And clarity of on outcomes helps people manage their task list better. And hence, this is one of the most important reasons why OKRs are being adopted as part of their performance process practices, is because of the clarity that it gives. So when you craft high quality OKRs, teams are extremely clear on the outcomes. It doesn't matter where they sit. And they also start managing their task list better. So that's how it's really aiding the process today.
Okay, and also if you could tell us what is the USP of Fitbots, and what are the key features that sets Fitbots apart from other performance management systems.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's more around the experience. Um, uh, we have the platform, but also our coaching, which goes hand in hand. Uh, it's not always very easy to adopt OKRs on the first try. So, along with the coaching and the platform, the experience is a lot more meaningful to clients. The second element is on the dashboards. I did show some of the alignment boards, but the alignment boards are essentially how CEOs are now managing their teams and doing more effective leadership reviews. So the way our platform is being adopted is the dashboards and reports going hand in hand for CXOs or let's say business leaders to do more effective conversations around goal achievement.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Vidya and Richa, for sharing about Fitbots and OKRs. I'd like to now call upon Aravind and Christian from KPISoft.
Hi everyone. Uh, I hope you all can see me
Yes, we
loud and
can.
clear. All right, thank you. Wishing you all a very happy Friday and a wonderful evening. So my name is Aravind and I'm the regional vice president for KPISoft Singapore. Along with me today, we do have Christian who has joined. To take you through the platform. He is our senior solutions architect who has joined us from Philippines. First of all, thank you so much to the entire HR Tech team for a wonderful initiative and bringing us to be a part of it. And thanks a lot for that once again. And let me just share my screen. And please let me know once you can see that. Is it good? I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Swetcha, maybe you could just say that whether is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
All
Yes.
right, perfect. Thank you. So I will just take you through the introduction of what KPISoft is as of today, and post that through the solutions demo. Christian will be a part of it, and he will take you through that. So as of today, we have founded it 2010 and HQ'd in Singapore as well as in US. As of today, we do have around 300 plus employees spread across the globe, around 15 offices in operations and 11 country presence. We are into advanced enterprise performance management system. Uh, just giving you an overview of our clients. From the financial services, we do have large insurance player like Zurich, Cigna, generally, as you can see here, MasterCard from the US. When it comes to government side of it, we are always proud to say that Smart Dubai government is using our product for their 50 odd departments and around 60,000 employees is basically using our solution. In Malaysia, we have done a similar solution like our Trace Together app or the Arukia Setu app in Singapore, in India, for Malaysia government, which is called the My Sajatra, and around 20 million citizens of Malaysia is using that. Ministry of Health, other conglomerates that comes under the UAE government. Large when it comes to telco and digital, almost all the brands that comes that comes under the Axiata group, Telecomcell, T-Systems, as you can see here. From other industries, Synergita is one of our largest client who is based out of Indonesia. And we have even implemented our solutions to their most complex infrastructure, which is their mining industry. So what we do, so basically, we through our or using our advanced performance management system, organizations can actually engage with their employees with a purpose. They can empower their employees by giving them very contextualized, time relevant, and actionable insights. And at the same time, with the new module that we have added along with the system, that will help all the employees to basically analyze themselves to understand the skills gap that the employees do have from their aspired roles. And I would like to pass it back to Christian in order for Christian to showcase it through how do we do this. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. So Christian, please go ahead.
Thank you, Aravind. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the time. So, without further ado, I'll now proceed with the solution demo. But before I do that, allow me to give you a quick overview of what we will be showing you today. So, today, what you're going to be doing is we'll be demonstrating KPISoft's enterprise performance management systems and how our product can actually optimize productivity in the new normal of remote working. So, there are actually four main modules that we will tackle today. So we will kick off by starting with the user's profile, and then we will navigate through some individual KPIs. And after this, we will then check the performance of our team members and also see how we can, push analytics to these individual dashboards. And lastly, we will end by going through some insights and nudges generated by KPISoft's AI and machine learning to the hub of the users. So right now, I am logged in as Steven, as the head of the agency development. And for this agency leader, we have created four KPI categories. which are mainly for financial activities, productivity, and quality. So on the upper left of your screens, you will see my score. So this is the weighted average of all the KPIs that we have created for this user. And on the right side would be the team score, which is the weighted average of the KPIs of my team members. So if you see all of our KPIs here, our solution actually allows you to drill down on each and every KPIs that you can see here. So from here, you will be able to see the levels, the thresholds, and even targets for several number of months. But of course, we adjust this according to our clients' business requirements and process workflows. And so if I switch to my team members on the lower left side, we will be able to see their KPIs, whether it needs improvement or not. And if I drill down on it, say for example on Iman's KPIs, I will be able to see their problem areas. And because the KPIs here are also color coded from red to blue, we will be able to use those to identify which KPIs are problematic and eventually use those for coaching purposes. So from here, we can easily spot what really the business challenge is. So if only one team member is suffering from a poor KPI, then it's probably not a management issue, but more of an individual performance issue. And if I go further to the left, you will see here the dashboard. So here we have different sections such as executive summary, agency performance and sales productivity and many more. So these are just some of the different kinds of dashboards that we have. And of course, we can create as many as we need to, and we can personalize it for every individual in the organization. So one example that we have here is a widget to monitor financial analytics. So what you can do with our solution is drill down on each and every category and see the performance of your organization for every region that you are operating, and even drill down further to the performance of the managers that you have assigned in that specific region, as well as their team members. So for every widget here, you will also see that at the bottom section that we can actually share this with any of my team members. And of course, for this case, we can share it to some folks over here, and we can type in our personalized message. So a personalized message like this will actually create a push notification to their hub. So from here, we can also see like how much each boss and team members are interacting with one another, and that can be used for social analytics. So this is how we collaborate in these dashboards. And as you can see, our solution is very mobile first, which allows easy access anytime, anywhere. So lastly, we have the homepage. So, or what we call also as the hub. So this is where the platform will actually send the messages, and it will observe what is motivating and driving the performance of an employee. So here in the top, you will see things to know, which is basically everything the employee needs to know. And things to do, these are the items that I need to do for my performance, whether it's creating, cascading, or any performance items that I need to do. So here, you will see general insights that has been sent to me by the platform to help me maintain health and even reduce risk of COVID-19. And another nudge that we have here is a motivational message to actually gamify the productivity of our employees. But you might ask, why is motivational messages like these important? Because in every organization, as we know, there are high, middle, and low EQ managers. So the problem with low EQ managers is this: I can actually teach you how to motivate people, but what I cannot do is tell you when. And HR can actually also train everyone on what are the things to do to motivate their team members and so on. But the moment that low EQ manager walks out the meeting, he won't know when, because again, he's a low EQ manager. And when we are motivating employees, timing is very crucial. And so our platform will tell you when it's time to do the coaching, when to congratulate, and ultimately to know when. So after a while, the low EQ manager will turn into a middle EQ manager and eventually to a high EQ manager. Of course, given that he also responds to the nudge. So in summary, Our EPM's unique selling proposition is that it helps organizations optimize everyday remote productivity. And it is done through four things: through augmented analytics, personalized dashboards, behavioral science nudges, gamification, and rewards. So, with the machine learning feature, we are addressing the modern EPM trends that we have all in a single platform. And this platform will be able to tell us how to better drive performance depending on activities, social networks, and behavior of employees. So basically, this is how we are driving behavior for performance improvements. Would there be any questions that you can help you with?
So thanks, Christian, for
Sure.
showing the platform, and thanks, Arvind, for setting the stage. What we'd like to ask you is, how are the performance management? How do you see the performance management space evolving? And what are the key trends that you are seeing in the performance management space now, post COVID? And how do you think the tools such as KPISoft is able to address these demands?
Yeah. So actually, there are lots of trends that are going on these days, but I think we can focus more on remote working, especially today that everyone's working remotely. And what we really did was to make enterprise performance management accessible to everyone. So whether you are on your mobile phones or you are on your tablets, iPads, or laptops, you can easily access the system. And on top of that, we have to also reinvent and like see things in a different way in terms of coaching our people. Like instead of being a manager, I think earlier it was also presented in a previous slide how a manager should also be a mentor. And I think that really has a lot of impact, not just on the productivity of employees, but also on their morale.
Okay, that's great. And what do you see the KPI soft? How is it how is it set apart from the other performance management systems that we have in the market today?
So maybe Christian, I would take that question. So
Sure.
such as Christian has shown over here, the augmented analytics part, and as well as the dashboarding, the BI integrated integration that we have done along with the solutions actually takes us apart from other solutions in the market. And basically the insights and nudges, which is very contextualized and personalized messages that is getting notified to the employees for them to understand what they need to do as of today in order for them to perform better. And based on the targets and KPIs which is given to them on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly basis, they will be able to understand how well they are performing and which all are the areas they might need some help, and they will be able to easily collaborate with the managers and understand their challenges and perform better. And that makes that organizations to be the enterprises of tomorrow.
Okay, that's great. Awesome. Thanks, Arvind, and thanks, Christian, for sharing more about KPI Soft and showing the demo. Okay, what we'd probably do is, just to keep the ball rolling, if I can invite Raj, Binu, and Gayatri from Synergita to present their solution and their platform, and then we can come back to Donovan once he is back online.
Sure, Shwaja. So hope you were able to see me and hear me clear.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So let me share my screen over here. There we go.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So thank you all. My name is Raj. I am part of Synergita. To introduce Synergita here, it's a continuous employee performance and engagement software along with the objectives and key results, which is very simple, easy to use, and no training required. We have got over 120,000 users, and we are hosted in Amazon Web Services. And we have over, good number of customers across the globe representing different industries like retail, manufacturing, financials, etc. So we are a ISO certified organization, and we do strict adherence to Singapore PDPA standards. So that's about the summary of the organization. Moving forward, so to give you the brief overview of what we do is that starting with setting the employee's performance expectations, be it the employee or the organization, we start from there and we do deliver end-to-end performance activities. On the organization front, we do have objectives and OKR, key results that you will see in the demonstration. And from there, you can start providing real-time feedback or check-ins. And then you can also reduce the turnaround time by automating the performance reviews, be it a 360-degree or 180-degree, whatever it is. And you can get a holistic set of feedback from different stakeholders, be it any industry or any kind of organizational structure, whether it is one-on-one or matrix reporting, whatever. And we also have other engagement initiatives like e-communication, and we also help you to evaluate how your employees demonstrate your organization's core values. For example, transparency, right? Integrity. So you can very well check whether your employee, team, or organization as a whole, how do you demonstrate these core values? You can also quantify, right? And you can also identify the strengths and weakness area, work on the development areas, and again, redo the exercise. And of course, to hear the employee better, we have got extensive survey options in multiple dimensions. And we basically find out that all these offerings from us have resulted in something we call as people magic, wherein the management helps the employees to eliminate all the performance bottlenecks, and the employee is able to challenge himself and he flies extra mile actually. And the overall product gives a simple and easy to use experience, keeping the employee as heart of the entire performance exercise. And the employee is highly engaged, motivated, and he performs better in a we-feeling environment. And the overall digital experience really increases the user adoption. And that's about the company and product introduction. With that, I move on to the demo environment. So herein, we have the login screen wherein the user, once he logs in, he can see the menu options are nicely organized on the left side. And the moment he enters into the system, this is where he starts his day actually. From the system, he can very easily understand where exactly you are at this point of time in performance management spectrum. In many organizations, using the spreadsheet on the traditional software, generating these kind of reports by collecting the data from different locations or departments, those are really challenging, error prone, and even time-taking activity. Whereas in Synergita, it's all in a single screen and very simple administration, and you can very easily enable these reports and administer for both employee dimension, for example, my goals, showing the employee's own goals with clear-cut status. And as a manager, you can very easily, in an intuitive manner, understand what are you supposed to do for which employee. And you can also get to know the status of these employees of your team very well, and which employee is in what stage. And these dashboards come up with different slicing and dicing options. Yeah, they are also available in the mobile application. With that, we move on to the talent section, wherein you can get the system integrated with any HRMS or talent systems, where you can have the integration enabled even through single sign-on or matrix reporting or even skills matrix. All these things will be captured in the system, and it enables a self-service environment in a simple and easy manner. You can see in the screen itself. And so with that, I move on to the goal setting area, where you can set goals in a pretty simple and straightforward manner actually. So here, the goals can be very easily set. You can click on this particular activity, for example, and you can straight away go to the goal setting screen where you have got multiple options for setting goals in a simple and easy manner through goals library, for example, or simply click on here. So setting the performance expectations is a child's play, and very clearly you can do this at, maybe you can be at office or at home, you can very well do that and submit the goal sheet. And these can be then reviewed by the manager and then approved. And we also simplify the HR department's, follow-up activities through notifications, push notifications, email reminders, escalation, and so on. Basically, we increase the operational efficiency so that the HR team can focus on other HR strategic initiatives. So from this moment onwards, the real-time feedback or the continuous check-in comes into picture, where you can have even the recency effect coming into picture. As a manager or employee, I may not remember what I did in the last 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. So that's where our performance diary kind of platform comes into picture, where you can maintain this platform on a monthly or fortnightly basis so that you can have this maintained and you can refer this at the end of the performance period, eliminating the recency effect and performance surprises. And there are multiple categories. For example, rewards, recognition, appreciation, all these things create positive vibe across the organization. The manager can become a coach or a mentor, and he can really help the employee with, say, development inputs or one-on-one discussion or employee goal feedback, eliminating the performance bottleneck and helping the employee to achieve the best out of himself. And the platform also increases the overall engagement and keep the employee motivated, because engaged employee performs better. So that's what we have experienced, that we showcase in the software as well in a flexible and easy manner. So from there, we move on to the feedback section, wherein be it an employee or the manager, they can very easily refer multiple inputs before they evaluate their goals and competencies. For example, they can refer the kind of feedback, continuous feedback they have received, the amount of achieved targets that they have already made, the past performance sheets, and even the continuous feedback wall. So all these things are going to be handy for you during your evaluation time. So these are about the employee performance, engagement, and growth side of it. And we also have training, deliverables where you can help the employee, not only simply keeping this as a review, but also helping the employee on the personal growth aspects, which obviously hit the organization's development. So moving on to the organization side of it, that's where we have the objectives and key results, where organizations can clearly identify, prioritize, and record their company objectives and key results. Referring this, the teams and the departments, they can create their own objectives and key results. Of course, the employee also can do the same thing with the help of these two company and the team objectives. So overall, as you know, we bring the alignment among these three elements, which are, they will coexist in a pretty simple and easy environment, wherein the environment becomes very much transparent, because you can very well enable these things for any employee as you need. And for example, I come to this particular objective, which has got these key results. And as you can see, this objective can very easily be aligned, or already it has been aligned with another sales objective. As you see, we have got within the team or across the business functions, you can very easily align the objectives and key results with the other teams or functions. So that's about the overall objectives and key results. And on the reporting dimensions, we have got effective reporting options, including the analytical and transactional dimensions. So that's about the overall summary. We have got say good number of performance talent aspects features. So not only these things, you can also perform probation to confirmation, promotion, high potential rating, and even e-communication, culture score. There are a lot many more actually. So that's about the overall product summary. Thank you for the opportunity. So now,
Thank
let,
you. Thank you, Raj.
thank
So coming back to our questions, what we wanted to ask you is, like, how do you think, how do you see the performance management space evolving right now? What are the key trends that you're seeing, especially post-COVID? And how do performance management tools, and the technology address all these demands that we are seeing post-COVID scenario?
Okay. I mean, even today in this current kind of challenging situations, wherein we miss the advantage of on-the-floor experience, what we see is that we see a slight increase in the kind of check-ins between the employee and the manager, because at this point of time, catching up with the employee, especially on the performance metrics, is pretty much challenging, and we see increase in that front as well. And keeping the employee engaged, motivated through the offerings like our offerings like spot awards, rewards and recognition, and other even development input. So all these features from Synergita can very well help the employee to be engaged, motivated, and he also is very clearly he gets into the mainstream of the organizations actually. So that's how we help the organizations to do that.
Okay, and you did mention that you are able to address the remote working aspect of it. Can you elaborate more on how is Synergita able to cater to the remote working conditions and the demands?
Okay, sure. So even as I mentioned earlier, today we don't have the face-to-face experience wherein even from the goal setting and a regular catching up with the employee on performance bottlenecks, because every day is a new day, every day is a new challenging and performance oriented day. So that's where we come into picture with these kind of online platforms wherein the employee feels very much connected. We don't have the ability to do integration with any, for example, core business software where the employee's performance metrics can very easily be integrated into Synergita. The data can automatically flow into system, reducing the man hours, and even we can cut down even say 70% of man hours and the efforts. So that's what we have experienced. And as I mentioned, with other aspects like rewards and recognition, we ensure that the growth, development, and the continuous performance are interwoven in the product, and we deliver the best actually.
Okay, that's great. So, if you can tell me in a couple of lines some key product features and the USP, what sets Synergita apart from the other performance management solutions?
Great. We believe in simplicity and flexibility actually. And as you have seen, I also mentioned this in the introduction. The tool is very simple, easy to use, and administer. So that is when you blend that with effective process, which really gives you the increased user adoption, where you don't have to do as a HR person to keep on following with the employee and managers, etc. And we also help you with, very easy to configure simple drag and drop performance workflow. We don't do any technical programming here. So obviously it becomes just like a cakewalk for the HR administrator, even to configure some new workflows in the future for based on the business nature. Because last year you would have had some different business requirement. This year it might change. You can very easily configure that, and we blend everything together in a cup of coffee kind of example. We blend all these three things together: continuous performance, engagement, and development.
That's great. Thanks, Raj, and thanks, Synergita team, for presenting the platform. I'd like to get back Donovan from PeopleStrong.
Yes, Richa, if you can hear me now,
Yes, I can.
fantastic. I hope the camera is also enabled
Yes,
because
it is. It
as
is.
I just click on the button, it seems like my PC is lagging.
Yeah,
So I guess
that's all
the
right. I
error was
think we
due to
all
my,
are used to the remote working conditions now
yeah,
and
I know, right?
whatever that comes with it.
Yeah.
So absolutely, go ahead, Donovan.
Okay. If you can just confirm if you're able to see the screen.
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. So before I get started, just a special thanks to Siriam and Richa and the HR tech team for this opportunity to demonstrate the capability of PeopleStrong's performance management. Now, with the short time and of course with the fantastic demo from the rest of the vendors earlier, I thought we'll just have one slider before we go into the demo and have that last snippet of Q&A. I thought I'll just start off and from there move on to a demo with three key differentiators of PeopleStrong's performance management. Number one, as cliche as it sounds, it's really the ease of use. And we have data to back this up, where in the hashtag work tech space, we are proud to say that we have about a 98% user adoption. And within the mobile app space, within the HCM technology, we are rated at about 4.2 upon 5, which is relatively good. That said, is because I think for new customers, one of the greatest challenge is, are my employees going to adopt this platform? So for the system to be easy to use and to have such data like that will give them comfort to know that it will be highly adopted by their employees. Now, number two, it's also powered with our HR chatbot, and it's called Genie. Now with remote work and with technology really advancing, we hear a bit about machine learning, AI, and of course with HR moving away from operational to strategic business partnering. We have Genie to help employees with performance matters, right? And performance is just one use case within 1,001 use cases that the organization can use for. So for example, if I'm an employee, I go into Genie, I can ask Genie, so Genie, what's my task for today? What are my goals for this quarter? And then Genie will populate those answers based on what I'm looking for. So it brings self-service to a brand new level. Number three, I would say it's a complete HCM offering. So although we will be focusing on just purely performance for today, but we all know after a performance review and the manager and the employees have a conversation about some potential skill gap or competency gap, that conversation typically diverts into learning. And so PeopleStrong is able to offer that. And of course, we talk about the organization bench strength, right? And looking for the next leader. I think performance data also helps. And so glad to say that we have succession planning as part of our overall offering as well. So with that said, I'll just stop share and then quickly jump onto the demo. And Richa, if you could, I get a favor from you to just let me know once again if you are able to see the screen.
Yes, we are able to see now.
All right. So the journey I'm going to take us for the next 12 minutes is in a day of a life of an employee, right? So when an employee logs into the PeopleStrong performance management system, this persona that I'm taking on is on a role of a manager and also an employee. So the difference being is that I would be able to see as a manager my team, so overall my team's performance, and the navigator function, which I'll go through in a bit. But for employees, it's very clean, it's clear to know what are the goals and whether it's on track or not by a traffic light system, right? And so if I were to view more details about this goal, achieve customer delight, etc., what it brings me to is as a manager, I see the owner of this goal, the start date, and the due date for this goal, right? I think some conversations has been happening about is more than just an annual review now. How do we break up the overall financial year performance into bite size, right? So it could be monthly, quarterly, biannual frequency, depending on the business need. And so within that particular goal itself, there are milestones. Now, if I can take one step back, so let's just use an example. When I create a goal, and by the way, you can name this goal as in any way you want. It can be objective, goal, OKRs, which has been much said about today, MBOs, KPIs, and also, of course, a commonly known goal template called the BSC, right, which is the balance scorecard. So based on what the customer selects on, the system will auto-populate. So for example, if the customer uses BSC as a goal template, those 4 categories will automatically be populated within the system. Now you would see that in a particular goal that you set, the next step, right, is for the employee to create milestones. Now with the time constraint that I have, I wouldn't be able to go through this because I need to populate some data here. But essentially everything that you see here is all highly configurable. And of course, when you set a goal, you also want to set milestones, steps for the employees to get there to achieve those goals. Obviously, the impact of that is for the business to have higher probability of achieving that goal. All right. I just wanted to touch on as well, besides goal, is for, of course, new customers that are going to go on board a performance management system, whether or not it's PeopleStrong. I think change management will be something quite critical, and for employees, again, to adopt to use the system. For that, we have something called a quick intro. So it helps managers, employees. So, for example, if I go next, you can actually explain what really a goal mean, what a milestone actually mean, and what a check-in also mean, right? And when you go next, it shows you, as an example, through like a video screenshot here, how do you set a goal within the performance management system. All right. So at high level, really, like I was saying, in the day of a life of an employee, when I get into my task, I don't just want to do whatever I think I'm doing, but making sure that I do tasks that are aligned to the business goal, right? So that's it. I can go on to tasks. So every task will be potentially tagged to a goal, right? So again, it can be used as milestones or tasks. And by the way, because of time constraint, I wouldn't be able to go into the Genie platform, but it's all mobile enabled, where employees can go into the mobile app and see what are the pending tasks for today. Now that's for employees, right? Again, for a particular manager, in the same example, if I were to go into this detail, so my name is Somya and my employee is Tatanka, right? And so I could see, okay, his goal is kind of not bad at 86% progression. Now, the system is very much driven based on I would say, conversation. So there's a conversation tab right here where I can have a real-time conversation with the employee. So I can say, hi, employee, let's have a catch up on this goal, right? And then the employee will receive a notification here that your managers wanting to have a catch up with you, and from there driving conversations to speak about that goal, right? So that's it. What happens is that, again, if I go back to goal, the employee can go back into their goal. So this can happen pre-meeting with the manager or post, depending on the processes. But over here, I can do a check-in. So again, I wouldn't go very much into this because this is something that I think you've seen very much. But similarly, in the same way, you can check in on a progress bar or based on Boolean, have you achieved these or not achieved these? Write in comments and also potentially attach any supporting documents. It could be a report based on supporting whether you have achieved this or not. Now, I'm going to toggle into a view of a management because as employees begin to check in, it obviously impacts management view, right? So if I jump straight into the management dashboard, one key dashboard that management will be able to see is something called execution velocity. So based on the goals being set, right? So you would say, for example, at 81%, right, is the overall percentage of completion for today as an example. But you would see based on what employees have checked in, today we are at 52%. So what happens is that management will be able to drill down. In this case, we deem it as people that are moving slow, right? So you would see all the names of employees where they are supposedly on their expected progress and where they are on the actual progress, right? And for management, obviously, they'll be able to download that report and take action. Another way that management or HR managers can take action is, for example, if I were to go into a particular goal here to view details, and then there's the action bar here and ask for an update, right? So then again, it triggers off notification to the employee to update that particular goal. All right, so that's again how the check-in really impacts the overall view of the management. Again, there are many other dashboards like RAG, which is your red, amber, green, incomplete key results if you the business use OKRs as a form of setting goals, and impact area. Now, just now I was talking about a very unique tool within PeopleStrong. It's a tool called Navigator. Now, one of the obviously commonality about performance management is to ensure that goals are aligned, right? So in this case, you would see S2 PeopleStrong demo. This could potentially mean the CEO's office, right? So the CEO sets a goal, it's being cascaded down into goals like that. So you see, for example, a goal as to improve customer experience. I can then drill down into the employees responsible for this goal, right? Again, and in a similar concept of a traffic light, you'll be able to see the goals whether on track, not on track, or requires immediate attention. And then with this eye icon here, to see the overall check-in history, and then the start date and the due date of that particular goal. So it also gives, besides management, also manages the view of where their team is at through this navigator function. So you can really drill down and also have a bird's eye view of where your employees are at. All right, before I sort of end off, obviously, I won't touch on performance review because it's pretty much similar. The system backend is configurable to do it on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, biannual, annual, whatsoever, and everything is all configured based on a rating, whether is it a 5-star rating or whatever sort of rating skill that you use can all be configured within the system. But I thought I'll show as a backend view before I end off is that for HR administrators, they'll be able to see the overall participation rate of employees and managers completing the performance course. Obviously, within this region, one of the key challenges we hear is managers and HR playing the chasing game and chasing people to complete performance reviews, right? So to have this data equips HR to make sure to know that employees and managers complete the performance review on time and of course in an automated way. 3 more things I want to show before I end off. After performance review is being completed, it's obviously having your 9-box as a particular performance metric to see where your employees stand within the overall 9-grid box view. And of course, for larger organizations, a common question would be your calibration bell curve or moderation. So you would see typically as a bell curve, how it should be like on like a 10, 80, 10 kind of split. It shows you your pre-calibration, and also you can do your after you do your calibration where employees' names will be listed here. And then through that discussion, you can drag and drop employees into the various buckets, and then the dashboard will amend accordingly. And that's how you can have your overall post-calibration data. And of course, after that is performance letter, which the system will also be able to generate employees who got promoted based on their performance and things like that. So with that, that's I hope this quick 12 to 15 minutes of a demo of PeopleStrong's performance system gives you a great understanding of how it works.
Great. Thanks, Donovan, and thanks for sharing all the features that PeopleStrong has. Few questions before we close off the session. How do you think the performance management space is evolving? Because obviously we have seen a lot of change or the need for revamp in the performance management. And what are the key trends and that you are seeing? And how performance management tools like PeopleStrong are able to address these demands?
Yeah. Of course, there are many trends, obviously, and I think at the end of the day, it's really very unique to a certain industry. But across the board, and I'm sharing based on experience in this particular region. So let's just use Singapore as an example. Our culture is very based on tradition, whereby in Chinese companies we call Tauke, which is like the Chinese boss. Before the whole evolution of performance management change, typically how people rate performance is that I want to make sure you're in office on time at 9 a.m. I must be able to see you. I don't really care what you're doing, but as long as I see you from 9 to 6 on your stipulated hours, I know that you're performing. And of course, if you stay even longer, that shows that you're working really hard, right? And if I do see you even more, I think when it comes to the annual performance review, I think you're doing a good job. So I think how it's evolved is that we spoke a lot about remote work. Now, I would say the key trend is transitioning from output to outcome, right? It's more than just doing for the sake of doing, but more than what I do, is it aligned to the business goal? Am I achieving the business goal based on what the CEO wants to achieve, right? And I think I'm sharing this also specifically on a report that I recently read, where there's a tremendous need for performance management across this region within Southeast Asia, because a lot of companies are still very manual using Excel. But more than just that is when it's manual, then employees really do not know what they're really working on. And it makes the whole business very handicapped. So when it comes to performance review, nobody knows what nobody's doing, and the whole process becomes very detrimental. And after the performance conversation, everyone leaves very demotivated. And again, the whole outcome of it is totally negative. So it's more than just a system, it's a process that needs to be changed to achieve positive business outcome.
Yeah. So just a quick, you did start with the session with what PeopleStrong actually is able to do. So can you just give me a one-liner on how PeopleStrong is different from other performance management tools?
Yeah, I would say if it's a one-liner, I would say it's really a complete HCM suite. Because I think also talking about trends, one of the things I foresee is that performance management wouldn't just be a performance management. It wouldn't just be a topic by itself, but it's going to be a topic within a broader topic. So an example I gave earlier, it's how various HR functions will impact performance. It could be a conversation about learning, a conversation about bench strength, which is about succession. So I guess that's something that makes us more different, where we have a overall complete offering that helps businesses not in just the current stage of need, but eventually as they scale and the needs arise, we also have that solution there for them to scale along.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Donovan, for sharing the demo on and showcasing the platform. Just wrapping up the session today, we all heard how the way we work has changed and how remote working has become the new reality. To ensure organizations can adopt, grow, and compete in a volatile environment, there is a strong need for performance management to become more decentralized, continuous, and agile. As we saw today, leveraging tech tools to facilitate performance management process has many benefits like customized goals tracking, 360-degree feedback, OKRs, instantaneous feedback, and recognition. New age tech not only enables HR teams and managers to take prompt action on performance data, but also provides agility in recrafting the goals and KPIs to meet the current business needs. Today, the market is flush with best in class performance management tools like the ones we featured here today, and that can help enterprises of all sizes in making their performance management systems robust, agile, and continuous. On behalf of the hrtech.sg team, we would like to thank all our partners for sharing the demos of their innovative solutions. And if you would like to see more such demo hour sessions, do drop us a line at info@hrtech.sg. I'd request all the partners to just come on screen for a quick um, photo, and then we have a wrap.